So as many of you know, last week I purchased the DJI Mavic 3 Classic. And the reason I did that is because my previous drone had got stuck in a tree in Tennessee, and I needed a quick replacement for a shoot I was going to be doing. Now, in my short research time, I decided to order the DJI Mavic 3 Classic 1 because it was able to get here the very next day after I lost my drone. And 2, it was supposed to have one of the best sensors on a drone that you could get. So, I decided to go for that one. But, I changed my mind. Now, after getting the DJI Mavic 3 Classic, I put it through its paces, I took it to a video shoot, and the footage turned out amazing. The only thing was I heard that there was a new kit on the block called the DJI Mavic 3 Pro. And if you know about the DJI Mavic 3 Pro, that one has the same exact Micro Four Thirds Hasselblad sensor as the DJI Mavic 3 Classic, but it also has 2 additional cameras at 2 additional focal lengths. As someone who shoots video for a living, having different focal lengths is extremely important. Not only is it able to get you closer to your subjects, it creates different depths of fields, you get more compression in the background, which isolates your subject a little bit better. I just love the look of like a zoomed in lens. I use my 70-200 lens on my C70 and my R6 all the time, and I just love the background compression you get with that. Because of that, I decided that I was going to order the DJI Mavic 3 Pro. Now that just released in May, so it's really new. And the main reason I feel like I didn't order that in the first place is because 1, it was back ordered and it wouldn't get here fast enough, and 2, it was more expensive. Now at the time, I didn't really want to spend extra money on a drone. I was kind of getting what I thought the best bang for my buck would be. But after careful consideration, I realized that after that shoot that I needed to do, that I would rather shell out the extra money and get those additional features that the Mavic 3 Pro offered. So, the Mavic 3 Classic is an amazing drone. I honestly think this is one of the best drones that you can buy, hands down. The sensor on this drone is beautiful. You can shoot in D-Log, which is a super flat profile, really stretch the image. It is fantastic. There is no need to go for the Pro version unless you really want those additional focal lengths. So, today, something special arrived on my doorstep, and we're going to be unboxing that. And I'm sure you can guess what that is. The DJI Mavic 3 Pro with the Fly More combo, and that also comes with the RC controller, the same thing as the DJI Mavic 3 Classic in terms of the controller. The controllers are exactly the same. Now you can actually get the Pro controller. The Pro controller gives you additional functions on it along with a little bit better range because it has 4 antennas instead of 2 antennas. I currently am not flying like extremely far. The original RC controller is going to be perfect for me. Looks like it's all packaged into this bag here. Nice little bag. Look at that. Bag feels really well built. What's here? It looks like different adapters depending on what country you are from to be able to use it in different countries. There are a bunch of these. It looks like 7 different adapters depending on what country you're on. So that's actually, I mean, I don't travel out of the country that often, but I guess if I do in the future, I am clearly set for any of those situations. So, I mean, that is very much appreciated. Not something I was really expecting to be in there, but it's nice to have. So thank you, DJI. And then we have this is probably going to be the power adapter. So this is the power adapter for the charging kit, and it's got 2 USB-C slots on it. And this is 100 watts. Now, the one that came with my Mavic 3 Classic was only 65 watts. And I think that's because I only got the standard one with the RC controller. I didn't get the Fly More combo that came with the multiple charging stations. So this is able to power multiple batteries and the controller and charge them faster than the Mavic 3 Classic standard charger that came with it. And then this must be the assume it's the ND filter kit. Yes, it is. So these are the ND filters for the Mavic 3 Pro. Came with a set of 4 of them, so looks like you got an ND 8, 16, 32, and 64. So you're pretty much set when it comes to any lighting situation. And I really appreciate that it does come with these, because since the drone is so new, there aren't any third-party manufacturers, at least as of the recording of this video, that are making ND filters. In the future, I may get something different because I really like variable NDs. The case is really nice. It feels really high quality. Now the bag feels really nice. I like the color. It's got nice little padding here, which will make it more comfortable to carry. It also has a little thing on the back so that you can carry it this way as well. And you could probably actually strap it down to something if you needed to. So this clasp here is kind of like the protector for the Mavic 3 Classic. All right, and in here, these are the extra propellers for the drone. I'm not gonna open up them. This is a pretty big bag of extra propellers, which is super convenient if you break a propeller. We've got, these look like more power cords or USB-C cables. Yes, these are the 2 USB-C to USB-C cables that come with it for charging the controller and connecting to your charging hub. And then we've got, looks like an extra pair of thumbsticks. And we've got, assuming the batteries, maybe extra batteries in here. Yes, these are the same exact batteries that come with the Mavic 3 Classic, but the Mavic 3 Pro is a little bit heavier, so you only get 43 minutes of flight time instead of 46 minutes of flight time, which I'm perfectly okay with. I would rather have the added functionality of the 3 lenses compared to 3 minutes extra of battery life, especially if you have the Fly More combo. 3 of these batteries is plenty. It's all you're going to need. If you were to go through 3 batteries, you would be flying like a madman, and even then, you could always put them on the charger while you have one going and constantly be rotating them out, especially with the 100-watt fast charger. It looks like, yep, that's just another battery, so I'm gonna put that back in there for now. We've got, so this is the hub for your batteries, so you can charge 3 simultaneously, which I think is awesome. That is one thing that I wish I would have had with the Mavic 3 Classic. Now I believe this would have came with the Fly More combo for the other one, but since I wanted to get the drone, like, spend the least amount of money as possible and also get it here the fastest, I had to go with the basic version. That you had to have the battery in the drone and then plugged into the drone to charge it. At least as far as I know, I didn't see any other USB-C ports on the battery itself to be able to charge just the battery without it being plugged into your drone, which I honestly didn't really like that. I kind of like my drone being tucked in my Pelican case, so it's nice and safe. Being out in the open, having to have it plugged in all the time, it didn't sit well with me. So I do like the idea that I can just plug them into this, keep the Mavic 3 Pro in my case. That way I know it's protected. The inside of this bag has like a microfiber like lining in it. It feels really good. It's a pretty high quality bag. And this must be the RC controller, which is exactly what came with my Mavic 3 Classic, because I did opt into getting the controller with it. I had the old controller where you had to put your phone into the holder, and that was honestly kind of annoying. I love the screen built into the controller. All you have to do is bring this in your drone and you are ready to go. And the screen on this is really, really bright, super crisp. The refresh rate is fantastic. Like, I love this controller. I feel like this is a must if you are going to be purchasing a drone. If you don't already have one of these controllers, definitely get this one or get the Pro model that has even a little bit more functionality. Looks like there is some, like a little zipper pocket up here in this bag, which I think that's really nice. Store some extra stuff in here. There is some literature in here that you can read if you want to. Last but not least, we have the drone, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's go ahead and unbox. Look at how big that sensor is. All those 3 cameras. That is beautiful. Such a cool design too. I love the look and the layout of the 3 lenses. This one is a little bit heavier than the Mavic 3 Classic. It is over 900 grams. So I know in some countries that puts you into a different classification. I am extremely excited to go outside and shoot with this. I love the compressed look of a telephoto lens. The compression you get, the parallax effect when you're circling subjects, it just really creates this cinematic look that you can't really get with just a 24mm super wide lens. Now, the 24mm lens is the best lens on here. It has the Micro Four Thirds sensor by Hasselblad. So the best color profiles you can shoot on each of the sensors is D-Log for the 24mm sensor. The 70mm you can shoot D-Log M, which is in between like a normal color profile and D-Log. And then on the 166mm, you can only shoot in the normal profile as of right now. Now that is not something I'm entirely excited about. Although the normal color profile produces brilliant picture, I love shooting in log. I shoot in log for everything that I do. I love to color grade. I love to be able to push my image as far as I can. So that is one caveat to the 166mm telephoto lens that I am not super excited about. Maybe in the future they will offer some sort of D-Log for that sensor. I don't know if they will, but that would be amazing to be able to get that extra little bit of dynamic range out of that. Other than that, like that is like the only thing I can really think of that I don't necessarily love about having the 3-camera system on there. If you are wanting to get the most out of your camera, the 24mm lens is going to give you the most dynamic range out of your image. It is going to give you the best quality image out of everything, but being able to have that 70mm and 166mm just gives you so many more options as to how you're going to frame up something. Tracking things, the 24mm lens can do active tracking, and the 70mm lens can do active tracking, but the 166mm lens cannot do active tracking. You can do the point of interest, so you can lock onto something and you can fly it around, but it won't actively do that without you. The other 2 lenses, you can do active tracking, and you'll still have the obstacle avoidance, omnidirectional obstacle avoidance for all of those sensors, as long as you're not in sport mode. This comes with 8 gigabytes of internal storage on it, and it uses micro SD cards. So if you were to get the Cine version, that one would come with a 1 terabyte SSD internally, and you can actually shoot ProRes in that one. So the Cine version is the best. You can shoot in 10-bit in the 24mm, and you can shoot in 10-bit in the 70mm, but you can only shoot in 8-bit on the 166mm lens. So the 166mm lens is the most compressed image, but it is still beautiful, and I love the ability to be able to, especially if you're shooting like subjects from far away, or like let's say you're shooting animals or something like that and you don't want to be super close to them and scare them with a drone, that 166mm lens is going to allow you to still be able to get up close, capture the characteristics of the animal or whatever it is you're shooting without disturbing them. So there's just so many more opportunities that this drone is going to provide that the Mavic 3 Classic just couldn't. And that is why I pulled the trigger on this. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with me. I will have a review coming up in the future of the Mavic 3 Pro, and I look forward to testing it out. Thanks for sticking around. We'll see you guys soon.